Unfortunately,
So
Is that what the mask is for?
That's what the mask is for, right?
on the way back from my druid stuff, I did pick up a bunch of spell components. So you know, Brick, I have cast Continual Flame on a lead coin I crafted myself,
Okay.
and I've built a small mount for it in Scrappy's back, so you can just pop it in, as well as in the back of one of my gloves.
So I want to know what you're doing this for.
For light?
Okay.
The idea is he can
and yeah, and then I have a cloth. It's got a leather case around it, so I can cover it easily.
A continual flame can be covered or hidden, but not smothered or quenched.
Yep.
Okay.
I like it. I'm happy with it.
Does it look like a standard... Oh, it looks like a regular flame, but creates no heat and doesn't use oxygen. Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, I've got a continual flame coin I can strap onto the back of my glove, put on my armor, or strap on Scrappy if we need it.
Let's see, player's handbook. Where did it go?
Oh,
Here
and
it is.
because I forgot to bring it up before the stream started because I'm dumb. When I hit level 6, I took Magic Initiate Wizard, and I have one extra casting of Shield from that, and I have the cantrips Blade Ward and Firebolt.
Firebolt, pretty good, just standard issue cantrip.
It is. It's an at-will range attack, and I figured with the way this is going, we're going to need to set something on fire from 120 feet away at some point.
The other thing I picked up is, okay, I didn't pick it up. I took a pile of gold coins and I took a mortar and pestle and I made the gold dust for Arcane Lock as well.
Okay. Gus.
What level? Sorry.
The morning of the 2nd, your stocks are open and you and your opponent are set free.
Yep.
The big, amongst, you're visited the second day amidst Percival's lectures and speeches and whatnot, but you're visited by many supporters of 10 Sales. A lot of people are tipping their hats to you. And the kind of mantra, it's almost becoming like a slogan amongst 10 Sales supporters, is that every man must suffer one day of injustice. And they're calling that, like, your day of injustice being on display for everybody is like a physical reminder of that.
Uh-huh.
But the morning, you're set loose.
I am going to go straight back to the barge.
Cool. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw. DC is, I'm going to say 16.
That is a fail.
A fail.
So I've rolled a 14.
Okay. Take 2 levels of exhaustion for just being in the stock. Just your mind and body are completely weary and completely drained.
I blame having to listen to Percival.
I was going to say, Florian will do that to you.
And Lucius, you marked down how much gold you made at the cards?
Yeah.
Okay.
One whole gold.
And what are we doing on the 2nd?
Also, I did spend the 200 gold on the bag of holding, so I'm going to continue researching that.
Okay. Was that what you're doing all day today?
Yeah.
Gus is gone for 2 days, and you guys have spent all of our money.
Hey, tomorrow's tax day, so
Yeah.
if you want to come with me for that.
Gus is probably going to be sleeping.
Yeah, with a long rest, you can erase one of those levels of exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're doing today? Going home and sleeping?
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Find Familiar, because I want to do that.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, I can't do it as a ritual, because I don't get ritual casting.
I can't... Is it one of these goddamn things per campaign enough?
No.
Nope.
No, because I have a question for Seeker.
Yeah.
Can I copy Find Familiar?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay.
Gus wants to summon a raven.
Okay.
And it's a small celestial. So it's a celestial, and its name is
Don't care. Lucius, you can do this as your Pact of the Tome feature, right? Because warlocks don't actually scribe spells the way you're describing. Is this a Pact of Tome
the Book
feature?
of Ancient Secrets. Is I take down ritual spells.
Gotcha. So you can only do it as a
Yes,
ritual. Gus can't do it as a ritual. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Excellent.
correct.
I'm not going to ask what your familiar is because, again, I just do not care. And I don't approve of this at all. Not even a little bit.
If Brick Red could turn on his webcam right now, it'd just be him and the caption screaming internally.
Next campaign, no player characters. All 5 of you have to just play familiars for some other jackhole.
These specific familiars.
Nodal wakes up like, oh, I guess I'm a termite again today because my wizard's a dick. Oh, good, he gave me a stupid name.
It takes Lucius 2 hours to do that.
Oh, look,
which is,
I'm Pecker Peckwooder today. That's great.
My raven's name is Peaches.
No, nobody cares.
I care.
So, Gus, go ahead and take the benefits of a long rest if you're going home and sleeping, and you can erase 1
Yep.
level of exhaustion.
Okay.
Seeker, what are you doing on the second?
Gus, during your long rest, you want to help me with this brittle book?
Sure. Yeah.
I'll stick around with Gus then for the morning.
Okay. Well, but for the whole day, what's your...
Oh, what's my goal for the day?
Yeah.
I've got 2 more names if you want to interview people for the drow. Oh, I
Yeah.
also tell the entire group about her working her way into Yulari.
That's scary. But no, I'll totally. I'll totally knock.
You
that
take one of
out
the names,
today.
I'll take the other.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Do you already have them from the chat from last session?
Yeah, I have the names
surely-
here as well.
Oh,
So if you just tell me who you'd like, I can put you down, and we'll do it from there. What
So
is
it's in the
Florian
Discord
doing
from last
today?
week?
Florian is going to continue his interest with learning jeweler's tools.
Okay.
There have been no complications, don't worry.
And we're doing another 3 shifts on the riddle book as well?
Yep.
Yep.
So Seeker's rolling at advantage because Gus is helping you, right?
Yeah, that'd probably be better, yeah.
Okay.
So you said, Destil, you already visited the Vice Admiral?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gus, you're great to work with.
Florian is so useless.
I got a 20.
20 on
10
the riddle
riddles.
book. Okay, so 16 riddles remain.
Do the
24?
Mihail Rich. What
24?
do you think?
So 2 riddles remain.
Wow, these last 2 riddles are really hard.
I like to think that one of them was like the 3rd one in the book, and you guys just kept going back to it and failing on it over and over again.
No, I'll take Mihail the Rich. You take Earl Godderton.
I don't know who these people are. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's.
Go into the
that's it.
Discord. It's the post right after Redis.
Got it. Thank you.
I like that Redis
not
is
too
a
far.
landmark now. Let's just go to Redis, turn lefts.
It's
see.
more annoying because I'm like, wait, is that a memory cache or what?
Okay, so the riddle book is almost clear. And Gus, like I said, you can...
Yep. So I guess I'm keeping the fort down.
Okay.
While everybody today.
So, Mihail the Rich. Who is going to go interview Mihail the Rich?
I am.
I think I probably should take that one because the other guy's nobility. That's all. That's your wheelhouse.
Sure.
This
Oh,
guy just inherited nobility.
I thought they were both nobility.
They are.
Well,
but
he is, but like not 30 generation.
Mihail is new money. So, Mihail the Rich inherited a large overload trading company from his mother and was raised to nobility by one of the previous kings. In fact, let's say, since Destil did not specify, he was raised to nobility by Iriadul I, the Scion. He was king of Dunfoss immediately after Juliana died. He was only king for a couple years. He died under suspicious circumstances after ruling just 6 years. He was chosen by the court of the gods. And he was an acolyte of Sensine, who is a god of the power of thought. And Iriadul raised a large number of people to nobility. He granted a lot of lands and kind of gave out a lot of manor houses that were not being utilized properly, a lot of lands that he felt were not being utilized properly. A lot of nepotism went on in that 6 years.
You don't mind, do you, Lucius? That sounds like you're old money. I'm new money.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's a fair way to distribute it.
Let me just check my notes for one other thing here. Seeker.
Yep.
One of the magic colleges in Dunfoss is called the Apple of Time. The Apple of Time is kind of a martial arts school.
Okay.
So a lot of monks, and what few Githzerai live inside of Dunfoss, which could probably be numbered in 2 digits, are probably members of the Apple of Time. But they are an official court, and they do deal in psionic magic. The Apple of Time strongly opposed Iriadul's selection for king. And there were thoughts that they had a hand in assassinating him, although nothing was ever proven.
Okay.
Mihail the Rich has, or had, some ties to the Apple of Time that he very quickly, and again, very suspiciously, kind of disavowed the moments that he was raised to noble status. And he's always happy to speak to working members of the various guilds and magic colleges of Dunfoss.
Sounds like a useful person to know.
And for some reason, he loves to talk about restaurants. He's known to frequent all of the finest restaurants in Dunfoss. Not most of them. All of them. Even
Every
that
single one.
really weird one. So what exactly are you trying to determine from Mihail the Rich?
So I'll dress in my finest clothing and pay him a call.
Mm-hmm.
And so the course of the meeting, I'm trying to get a good read on whether or not he's a good fit for our... I'm trying to think of, like, our marriage... Like, what are we doing here? Anyways, for our marriage choice. But my, like, stated reason for the meeting is that through the course of our investigations and through various escapades, you know the sort, we've sometimes found ourselves in custody of items that are of particular interest to the nobility, and I was wondering if his trading company would be a good contact for us to distribute them.
We are playing matchmaker, by the way. We are matchmaking.
Matchmaking.
If Mihail were to roll an insight check against what you just said to determine whether or not you're asking him, can you smuggle magic shit in and out of Dunfoss? And he succeeded on that check, would he be able to figure out that you're asking about smuggling magic shit in and out of Dunfoss?
Is selling magical shit inherently illegal? Or is it just that there's like a big tax on it?
It's not little of column A, little of column B. It could just be like a lot of these deals to move magic items in and out of town might just be done to avoid scrutiny. Maybe you just don't want any of the magical colleges to know about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say if he was able to pull it off, it would sound like Seeker was trying to figure out if he could use them to smuggle magic shit.
Okay.
Like, hey, if I got magic shit, are you interested?
So 2 pieces of information that you gleaned from Mihail. For one, he could make these arrangements.
Yeah.
And he could do so with a very little scrutiny, because like you've observed, he's new money. He doesn't have an ancient house to keep track of, and is not under a lot of scrutiny, especially since kings have come and gone since he's been raised to nobility. He's kind of obscure. He's kind of a nobody in that regard. The other thing you learn, though, is the conflict here is you can't determine whether or not, knowing the story behind King Iriadul in the Apple of Time, either Mihail is still associated with the Apple, in which case he's not a good prospect for Daisy because she doesn't want anybody associated with the colleges.
Yeah.
Or he has sincerely publicly disavowed the Apple and is not like secretly associated with them anymore, in which case he might be a good prospect.
And I can't get a good read on him either way.
You can't get a good read on him either way. But
Okay.
he will talk to you for hours on the subject of moving goods in and out of Dunfoss, yes.
All right, then yeah, I'm gonna start to make a a preliminary kind of agreement with him, because we previously made an agreement that if we could find someone willing to sell that sale, that we'd get a cut of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like I just found a subcontractor.
Okay. So you're trying to, like... you're trying to include this poor guy in two of Flumph Inc.'s schemes.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Seeker never does anything for just one reason.
What about peeing? What's his other reason for peeing?
Pooping.
Okay.
Lucius.
You asked, Brickroad. You asked.
Is Seeker crate trained?
Shouldn't have. No, you gotta put him back in there every night. We've established that he has the button-up pajamas that come open on the back.
We've established that I am not the one who has had pee on the floor of his room.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. But...
Gus does get peed on with pretty significant...
Yeah, but at least I'm not doing it while wearing little cutesy bear pajamas. That's canon, by the way. Seeker owns cutesy bear pajamas.
Lucius,
Yes.
you go to speak with Earl Gowerton.
Gowerton, yes.
Gowterin, I'm sorry. Gowterin looks right.
Yeah.
So his lands are far away. Still within the region of Dunfoss, but far off in the sticks. Probably several days' travel at least from the city proper. And sad story, 20 years ago, his wife died during childbirth. The baby died as well. When that happened, he kind of lost his will to continue. He placed the control of his lands, without relinquishing any, under some of his vassals, relocated to Dunfoss, and has kind of just spends his days holed up in his manor here. He politely declines invitations to the various social soirees that are held. He doesn't make his face known in society very often. But the Gowterin name is... It's really hard for me to not say Gowerton. So, executive decision. His name's Gowerton.
Going Gowerton. Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Got it. I'm correcting my notes right now.
Awesome. A very old family. Connected in a lot of ways. But he does seem to fit exactly what Dacenary is looking for. Somebody rich, somebody with few ties in terms of family. So what pretense do you make to go speak with Earl Gowerton?
He's not the kind of guy who would be interested in Warlock insurance, would he?
Make a persuasion check.
John. That's a 27.
Speaking to one of the Earl's servants, a young lady who kind of meets you out in the gardens, you're able to convince her that this is a problem, and she seems to be a very superstitious person. And if you press the issue, you could probably get a meet with the Earl on this pretense.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay. The Earl's home is very dusty. He keeps a very bare bones staff. It's the kind of place that, like, you can tell that laughter and joy have not entered these halls for many, many years. Also, some of the areas of the manor have just been kind of permanently boarded up. You can tell that he only uses a small number of the rooms, one of the smaller kitchens. He meets you in a small, dusty solar with only one open window overlooking the street outside. He finds it quite bizarre that a child of devilry would come to his door to sell him protection against the very magics that course through your veins.
With all due respect, sir, who better to understand the nature of devilry than one who bears its blood?
He says, who better indeed? So what is your goal? What are you trying to get out of the Earl during your meeting?
Basically, I'm going to kind of just forego, like, actually trying to make Warlock's insurance money on this for the sole purpose of getting to know this guy, kind of get his take on what I understand from rumors.
Okay.
Try to separate fact from fiction, whatever fiction might be.
Okay. One thing you learned for sure is that the Earl is much younger than his appearance would betray. He was a young man when he relocated to Dunfos, not older than 30. So his white hair and just his sagging eyes and his wrinkles, it's just a lifetime of grief.
Possibly strong elf blood, maybe? I don't know.
He's human.
Okay.
But he listens intently to your pitch through the course of it. And as far as separating fact from fiction, he's a very blunt man, and kind of what you see is what you get. He doesn't get hung up on decorum. You definitely get the sense from him that he's kind of just running out the clock here. He seems very disinterested in a lot of what's going on. In fact, even though Warlock Insurance has been kind of the buzz of the upper crust for a couple weeks now, this is the first he's heard anything about it.
Okay. So socially isolated too. And I'll say, while there hasn't been any overt attempts, like I haven't received any intelligence or information that your place has been targeted. Can't discount the possibility that it may be in the future. But I'm disinclined to provide you like a serious consultation, merely to gauge the risk, as it were.
And
A quote.
he comes forth very honestly through the wings of his house that he hasn't used in years. And knowing the nature of these things, it's completely possible that there are things he doesn't know about lurking in the shadows and in the dust. And even as he says this, you can tell that he doesn't seem too concerned about it.
Okay, then.
As far as being a prospect for Dacineri, he's rich. Most of his wealth lay outside of the city walls. He has no family to speak of. He doesn't seem to have strong opinions on the use of magic or much of anything, really.
Okay. All right. Then I think I've got all that I need from him.
He thanks you for your time. What do you quote him, by the way?
I say for the for an actual standard delousing, as it were.
Delousing.
I get the name. Just I don't have what we've been charging people for Warlock's insurance.
You guys, I think you guys just make something up every time.
The Warlock insurance is an action you can take through the skilled occupation downtime action.
Okay.
So it can vary.
But we've also used that to launder money when we were selling those sailcloths.
Work is worth what people will pay for it. There's no such thing as value.
The deluxe package is listed on our tax statements as 598 gold pieces with 2 gold pieces for the undercoating.
What?
Always have to buy the undercoating.
Oh.
Your Warlock
Alright, guys,
insurance has upsells.
Good night, everybody.
So where you leave him is he's going to sleep on it, and he will definitely be in touch if he notices any freakish goings on in the other wings of his house.
I'll leave contact information so he can send a runner.
Okay. And Florian can go ahead and advance your jewels tours, whatnot, and Alex can go ahead and advance his research.
Yep. Also, I paid Linda.
Okay.
So everybody remembers.
34 more days to go, guys.
Those of you who are out and about today, the rumors on the street is that there's war in the north. Far to the north, if you were to take the road where you guys traveled up towards the ruins, where you met that black dragon friend, if you were to continue on that road all the way north, instead of veering off of it like the way you did, for probably several more days, you would reach the mountain home of Growlgram. That's where Maximilian and his family hail from. Long known to be an ally of Dunfoss, and war in the north seems to be the rumor in the street. Growlgram is losing ground against something, and the reports that you're hearing run the gamut from fairykind in the Great Forest pushing south, to they've broken through to the Underdark, to the dead are climbing out of the great dwarven tombs, but a lot of injured dwarves, merchants, women and children predominantly, have made their way south and are taking refuge in Dunfoss now.
No, Gus was right.
What?
Nothing.
So the rumor mill is churning. The other rumor on the streets is that within the next day or two, King Maximilian is going to personally address the coming dwarves and the assembled citizens of Dunfoss to speak on this issue. This would be a hallmark in his reign, even if he weren't known to be incredibly ill, because King Maximilian doesn't do a lot of public appearances. Anyway, he prefers to do a lot of delegation, stay behind the scenes. His form of governance is very quiet. I do apologize if you can hear my dog barking, but we know that she's pooped, so she doesn't have to go out again. She's just
She's
upset.
very happy.
The third is tax day.
Yep. Who wants to go with me?
I've still got one
Florian
level
will.
of exhaustion, so...
So, 8% of a business's profits are due the crown in coin or in trade. The crown has no use for your trade. And you guys are being extorted by a man named Craggett Finestone because of some unpleasantness Flumph Inc. had with his family in the past.
Yep.
So it's going to be more like 12% because he always sticks the needles directly to you. Also today, the banks pay 1.5% interest on all holdings.
Okay.
Yeah, I spent the night making a copy of my ledger for them, and yeah, by my math, we owe them 85 gold and 5 silver pieces.
Oh, on the 24th, did you guys mark down that someone went and got a healing potion?
I think I added it to. Someone said they were doing it.
Okay.
Florian, did you go do it? Because I put it on your tab.
Yeah.
What?
Your druid friend brews a two healing potions a month for you guys.
Who wants the other?
Oh no, it's the other one comes on a different date.
Okay. I thought we got two.
One, 2 days, 2 different days.
Yeah, you get one on the 12th and one on the 24th.
Got it.
Yeah, so it sounds like Florian and I are going to go pay the tax man.
Oh, don't worry, they'll come around to you.
Oh, good. Then I'm going to continue research on my bag of holding.
All right, so
Well, in that case, Gus will be there too, because he's not leaving the barge.
Gus, you're going to rest again today?
Yes.
Florian wants to solve this damn puzzle book.
Florian, go ahead and give me that roll.
I'll assist.
Do you want a cigarette?
No
need it.
There we go.
And
Not
Florian
willing to accept help.
cracks the puzzle book and learns the keyword that solves the whole meta puzzle of the book, and it is supremely satisfying, exactly like the chief inspector said it would be.
Wow, that's kind of anticlimactic for him to spoil that the word is supremely or satisfying.
You're fired.
No, it's
Which one is it?
Pumpernickel.
Which
It's Pumpernickel.
pumpernickel?
Yeah.
What is Seeker doing on the 3rd?
Seeker is going to go to the man who had his sail stolen and see if he still is looking for a buyer.
We had established that guy was kind of a dumb fuck, if I recall.
Yes.
Yeah, we already have a contract to sell it with him.
Okay.
I just want to clarify, and then I'm going to finalize that sale.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that as your action today.
I guess Gus is going to be using the morning to teach us familiar curse words.
Oh God, what's Florian doing on the 3rd?
Well, if we're not going to go visit the tax man, because the tax man's going to come to visit us.
Assuming you guys aren't doing anything dumb when the tax man comes around, we can just say that goes off without a hitch. Just
hey, okay.
If you guys
I'll
grit your
mark off the
teeth
money.
and...
Do you want to investigate the books?
I mean, he always wants to investigate the books. He wants to.
No, I
go
mean,
over
you
it.
as the GM. Do you want to
No,
take a look at okay.
Absolutely not. Are you kidding me? I don't even want to do my own goddamn taxes, Destil.
Did you hear that, Destil? See
Which
how much
I
we
mean,
can
you
pull
know.
it.
So I will subtract that.
We looked up the names for the Drowman. Yeah, let's do more stool shit.
I do have 2 things, Florian, on my list of stuff that I'm working on the bag.
Okay.
Feel free to take or leave these. 1, we should try and find out if that guy is actually a member of the Apples of Time. The one that Seeker spoke to yesterday. The other one is, and I'll share this with you since I think this is actually something you're interested in. When I was talking to the Vice Admiral, I get the impression that if we were to dig up some dirt on Journey, he'd be super interested in maybe even pay us for it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because I know that was something you were trying to track down. Like, he and Vinmus are both interested in trying to take Journey out of the contention for King.
Lucius, do you want to try to find more dirt on Journey? Guess not.
Lulu does.
Oh,
Lulu's
I was
very
muted.
excited.
I'm sorry. I'm muted. I'm sorry. Yes. No. Yes. Let's go dig up some more dirt on Journey.
Excellent.
Everybody, Gus would have warned Seeker in particular that Caitlin Chubb tried to extort him to fulfill her promise and warn him about her dealings with him.
Seeker looks like he already knows everything there is to know about Caitlin Chubb extorting.
And then at the same time, he was gonna he'll tell him he's gonna get clear. Does anybody, for future reference, in case I'm put over this again, do you care if I tell them what you can do?
Tell them I can do things that I can't.
Yeah. Just on an individual basis. I just want yes or no's from everybody. I will abide by it.
That's fine.
Okay.
No, here's what I'll tell you though: is if Caitlin Chubb comes back to you and ever tells you once again that you owe her something new, or if anyone does on an agreement that you have already made, you stonewall them. We do not want to get a reputation as suckers. Once people start thinking that they can get you to do more things in exchange for an agreement you already made, that's it.
I mean, I did stonewall her, but for a slightly less
And I'm very proud of you.
reason. I'm not gonna make any moral judgments on here, Seeker, but I did it for a different reason.
And I'm very proud of you.
So what do you tell Chubb, Gus? Ooh, Chubb Gus, that's a good name.
I didn't tell her anything. I'm not going to speak to her.
Okay.
I just was I'll tell Alexander that I told her that you were an artificer because you walk around with a giant mechanical badger, so it's kind of obvious.
Sure.
She had me kind of over a barrel and was threatening me, but otherwise I was willing to go to prison for you guys. I want
Lucius,
everybody to know that.
Yes.
what time of day are you going to try to carry out this investigation to find out some dirt on Journey? And how are you going about it? Are we just doing observation? Are you going to try to interview people that she deals with? Are you going to spread some money around? Are you going to
I
try
think
to
we've tried.
kidnap her and waterboard her?
If I remember correctly, we've already tried observation. right?
Yeah.
And that landed us in an inn, and there was a whole kerfuffle with like the proprietress, right?
Little
Yeah,
bit, yeah.
you pretended to sleepwalk. That was pretty hilarious, but
Yeah.
less than productive usually. There was the
And
gray
Journey
cloaked man.
Is that what I'm remembering?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was the gray cloaked man that I tailed to a particular place.
Yep.
All right, you think that's a good place to start prodding?
Okay.
All right.
Are you both doing this?
Absolutely.
What time of day? Day or night?
Well,
I think it's better we do it during the day, so if it's got a cover story, we know what that cover story is.
very well.
Okay, and you guys are going to go start asking around, doing some questions, find witnesses, rather than just observation?
Yeah.
What we're going? I thought we were going to observe the. Was it the building where the great cloaked man went into?
Stake it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My next
And then-
question is...
10.
Escape... Lucius, same question.
10.
Wow.
You could tell I'm tired.
Wow.
I didn't even hesitate.
Let's get an investigation check. One of you can make it, the other one can help, so you can make it at advantage.
I've got a +2 bonus to investigation.
I have a plus higher.
Okay, then by all means.
Yeah, I got a +7. You said at advantage, right?
Yes, one of you make it at advantage.
At least we're together.
It was a 21.
21.
Work our way out of the mess that we're about to get ourselves into.
Give me one... Actually, no, I need individual. Both of you need to give me a stealth check.
I am much worse at these. Oh, not that much
bad.
worse, but
That's a 7.
Mm.
Gonna be 2 new investigators, boys.
it is also a 7.
You stake out the place where you saw the gray cloaked man enter, and during the day, you become convinced that he came there last night. You're kind of waiting for him to leave. You're going to tail him, see where he goes. I need to go real deep and far back into my notes here.
Yeah, I know. It's like we're following up on leads that you gave us. Like
You
a
fuckers
month
said
and a
10
half
and
ago.
then both failed a stealth check. So, here we go.
They did not learn from my mistake.
The funniest part of this is that I just learned clairvoyance.
I meant to ask if they wanted like invisibility or anything before they left, but
Yeah,
do
they
have-
just booked.
I have that as a spell too. That's the really funny
They're
thing.
just gone.
But it has not crossed Florian's mind yet that they're actually stealthing.
I mean, if you're going to
Just
try to
take it out and just stare out in the open at the building.
He's just He's got the puzzle book in front of his face, except it's upside down.
I do not have the woman's name from Vandalay Enterprises.
Oh, the one that hit on Gustavus?
Yes. I don't... Where in my notes did I put it? It's not under my Vandalay notes. Why would it be? That'd be extremely useful to retrieve at a moment's notice.
Oh yeah, what was her name? I don't remember.
I don't know.
yeah, I don't remember.
I could watch old videos and look it up.
Choreoplenticus Fireblood.
No, that wasn't it.
500 gold.
That's what I have in my notes. Choreoplenticus Fireblood.
You guys are staking out the place.
Mm.
We're going to call her Annette until Treble goes back and fishes it out of old videos. Whereas the only other place that I can tell that it exists. So you guys can find a little hiding place to kind of chill out for most of the day. You've done this kind of work before. You know that it can take many hours before getting any kind of result. And without even realizing it, without even noticing that she had gotten close, you realize that this woman, Annette, is kind of leaning against the same wall in the same alley, watching the same door as you. And then she feigns... What, you have it?
Yeah, it's Mutia.
Mutia.
Mutia. I literally just went into like my archive folder, and the first video I had was it.
Nice.
Nailed
Just
it.
random guess. Yeah.
Mutia. Okay.
Like I guess Miutia.
Musha.
Musha.
Well, it's no Mutia. It's two separate.
Misha.
That's right. She had two names. We were calling her Tia. So yeah, you notice that Tia's standing there. None of you heard her sneak up on you. None of you. This is not the first time she's done this to you, and she feigns surprise when you notice her standing there. Like, oh, I didn't know you guys were here. And she tips her hat to you,
Certainly not.
smiles broadly. So what are we looking at, boys?
Why would you ever ask Florian that question? The fool.
Well, it appears we are looking at the street.
Oh, it appears to me you're watching that door.
Is a door not part of the street?
And she
No.
looks at
it's
you like
part of
that's the
building,
dumbest
Florian.
thing she's ever heard.
Well, what is a door but a portal to a street? Therefore, if we're looking at the street, door's part of the street.
She says, you have me at a disadvantage. You see, I'm a detective. I don't work in construction.
Well, don't think of it as construction. Think of it as one of many truths.
She bids Lucius a good day as well.
Good day, man.
Done with Florian.
And then she asks who you're working a case for.
Sigurd 10 sales.
Make a deception check.
Eight.
She gives you a laugh, like she's playing along with a lie. And she says, and how much are you charging our dear friend 10 sales for this service?
Standard rate.
She says, forgive me, it's been so long, I don't recall the standard rate for entry-level detectives.
500 gold.
It is a complicated situation, my dear Tia.
She pulls out a knife and starts kind of working some dirt out from under her fingernails. She says, well, it would be a shame if someone were to pay the man who lives there a visit and tell him that he's under surveillance. If such a thing were to happen, it might put the kibosh on the entire investigation.
It might. Of course, how much would it take for someone to not divulge this information? I wonder.
And she kind of feigns like hurt and surprise. This is, my dear Lucius, what is it you're accusing me of?
My dear Vandalay, you and your lot have made no secret that you don't really care too much to have competition, as lowly as it might be. You made that very clear to us.
Florian, I don't think your friend likes me very much.
Well, that seems to be your perception of it. I think he enjoys you a great deal.
Perhaps he is a hard man to read.
Perhaps.